Okay. Hello, good morning. Hope everyone is ready for the live. So for people watching back on YouTube, this is a live recording of a Facebook Live given in the Art by Marlene Creatives group, showing you what to create with the Art by Marlene Advent Calendar 2024, Day 8. Let me just see if I can get myself on my iPad. Yes, found myself. Haha. Another thing done and dusted. Good morning. I'm just waiting to see if people can find me. So if you hear me very nasal, I'm a bit fluish. Hopefully that'll be over soon. Let me just move the lamps around. So that you can see better. Yeah. Okay. Let's start. So today is day 8 of the Art by Marlene Advent Calendar. We've got the little book that we made. To see how to create the book, just go back to either the videos up above in the creators group under the featured videos, or go to the Art by Marlene Advent Calendar 2024 album, the playlist on YouTube, and you will find it. It's the first video where I show you how to create the little book, where I subsequently create all of my designs in. Hi Funke, goeiemorgen. So this is the day 8 little envelope, and this is the design in there. So I can see I've got a bit of a thingy in there. The rest is fine. There we are. So that is the Advent Calendar little stencil for day 8. So it's always exciting to what we are going to create with it. I'm going to put this aside. We don't need that for now. Morning, Claire. Hi, Jolien. Goedemorgen. So let's start by going through the little book again. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, and day 7 yesterday. After the live was finished, I saw that we forgot to stick on the day 7. So I still have to do that. So, but I did see that, but I didn't have time yesterday to do it, and I didn't really feel very much very good, so I didn't do it. So here is the day 8. We will stick that onto somewhere in there, and here you can see I've already prepped my page. And what did I do? This is a piece of collage paper that I stuck to. So all of my left hand side of my little book is collage paper, and they are all from my Art by Marlene collage paper books. If you don't know those, it's these type of paper pads. This one is ABM ESDPP, which is double-sided paper pad, 211, and this one is already very well used, but you can see how the designs in there look. So it's double-sided paper pads. So this was this type of design, and that's what I'm using in the live on the side. So what did I do? Just to make sure that my page is nice and smooth, the transition, I gessoed this page, and of course I used the Art by Marlene gesso, which has got a nice tooth to it, which I like. And then I just transitioned it over a bit over the paper onto the other side, just to make sure that it doesn't just fall flat on its face on the other page. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to go in with color, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Mermaid, and with the Mermaid I'm going to add some Wow. then I'm gonna, good morning, Ingrid, Critter Creation, I can see on there, Irene. Of course, a bit of fuchsia, pink, sorry. Fuchsia is the normal purple and the neon one is the pink. So that is what I've got in there, and I'm going to add a bit of ho 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 to the hot pink. And that is how I'm going to start my day. Isn't that great? So let's see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix some of that in with the mermaid. And you can see I did add a few places that white into the other pages, just so I can put this color over it. Oh, I'll just have to move a bit forward, otherwise I will actually be off screen. And let's put a bit of that bright yellow, and let's just transition it over onto the original paper too. It gives it a nice brightness. Hi, Michelle. So tomorrow I will be on later. I'll only be on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Amsterdam time. So look that up. The easiest way for me always to search what time it is if you've got an iPhone, I know you go to the world clock function, where the same places where you would actually set your timer or whatever on your telephone. So let's... Are you still sick as well, Claire? So let's add a bit of that red with that hot pink, which will give you a nice bright. And of course, let's just grab this in there. That'll make sure that I don't ruin my page. Nice and bright. Yes, Charlene, you can Google it as well, but if you put it on your world clock, you can just always put another city in your world clock function, so it'll always give you the time, and it'll tell you if it's 4 hours ahead or 2 hours ahead or 9 hours ahead of time. So that really works and helps. So let's put some yellow down, which is happy, and a bit more wow. Yeah, I'm the same. It's just my nose the whole time, just really congested and a sore throat, feverish. But it's been a busy few weeks, so it's just sometimes... I actually thought when I got back from South Africa I was sick. So I thought, oh, luckily I won't get sick this winter because I already had it. But that was other germs. It wasn't the germs that I have now, I think. So that is, I think that is about it. It's a nice combination of colors. So what I want to do is, or what I need to do, so I'm just going to go in with my gesso again. And then It's just a thin layer. What I try to do is I don't want to put a thick layer of paint so you'll see that you've put gesso under there. But what I want to do is just put a very, very, very thin layer. That's why you can see I'm taking little bits of paint at a time. And I'm just trying to neutralize the background color just a little bit. And the reason for that being is I want to add a bit of that punk. There's a little piece in my paint. And when I want to put punk on, I can't put it on a different color, because that way it's just going to become a brown, because punk is quite translucent. Put your gesso aside, otherwise you will dry out your paint. You always need to really close off it and then make sure you do that. So let's just grab another paintbrush. I'm going to grab my punk, and you can see that now I can add that color on top of there without that green really coming through. Oh, sorry, I sound terrible. And then I'm going to add a bit of that turquoise and just go onto the color next to it. Just blending the colors out a bit. A bit thicker on there. There we are. I think we're getting there. So just a few dots and what have you. There we are, going in there. And a bit with the yellow over the turquoise again. Just creating a background. There's a little, I don't know what, I think yesterday after the live I actually took all my pencils and I sharpened my pencils, and I think some of that came onto my desk. So that is it. So what I want to do is I want to create a border around my page. I've already decided on that. So I don't know exactly how, but I did want a kind of a border. Or that I just want pattern. I can also do that. But I decided that today I want to use some of the paper elements from the collector's box. So in this little box, you will find 128 different elements. They come in two sizes, so it's 64 elements and all in two different sizes and two different images, like mirrored image from one another. And I want to use something of these So maybe with this. No. So let's play around and see what I want to have in here. Some of the pesky images. Let's just see which ones I want to use first. That is very important. Let's see. I did this one. This one's not going to work. I'm thinking I'm going to use her. I think go with the first one. So they're already cut out, but what I like to do is I actually, every single centimeter, millimeter that I don't like, I cut it off. Especially where they can't do the really fuzzy cutting around the hands. I kind of go in and I want every single part to be right. Then it just feels better to me. So let's go in there. And this one. Can you see that? It just makes, to me, a whole big difference. You don't really have to, I don't like fuzzy cutting big time. So I don't want to fuzzy cut a whole image, but just cutting the edges off just to make it exactly the way I want it is okay with me. So I'm going to just use that. What did you say? There we are. So I'm going to create a black base at the bottom. Just cleaning my brush off. Be careful to only paint to the outside and not back, because otherwise you will get the paint on your previous page. Or on your next page. Let's just get that black paint on. And should I do a black border right around? I don't know. That's the thing, that sometimes I've got an idea beforehand what I want to do. And once I get there, I've got total different ideas. Let's just go back onto on-site again. See, that works. Here's Glenda. I saw I was working off camera. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is put some black paint on here. And I'm just going to grab a previous day stencil. So just hang on for 1 second. I just have to grab the stencil, find it first. So let's see, was it in here? No. I think this was the day one. Is it the day one stencil, this one, or day two, whatever? I don't know anymore. But what I want to do with this is just create a bit of foliage. So just make sure that I wet my, for those that don't know it, if you use your artist sponges, you have to wet them first, and you have to then really take out all the extra moisture. Just press it out. And then instead of having just a brush, it will become really large. And that way it'll be much, this is quite stiff, and this is really soft and bouncy. And that way you will just get a much better stenciled image without it bleeding all over. Just press out all of the extra moisture. You don't want too much extra moisture in there. And then just dab on some paint, dab it off. So let's just grab a few places where we're gonna put some foliage on the bottom of your page, little leaves. You can just paint it in if you want to, but it's, you've got the stencil, so you might just use it. So let's grab a bit of more paint. Let's go in there. Now let's grab that little one there. So that just gives you interest. So once you want to put your girl on top of it, it'll just look like this is in the background. And it just changes the whole image of how it looks. So you really just have to go on. And put some there. And of course we will go in later on with a white pen. And elongate some of them. And get some off page. There we are. So once you've done that, what I like to do is then just go in with a white gel pen and just go in and give it a few accents. And I actually just pull it down into the foreground. There we are. Let's pull that down there. So of course we now have used a previous day stencil, but I mean, that's what they're there for, aren't they? So what have I done with my girl? So that is just another way. So even if you just did that, you would have used that day stencil, and it's a whole different take on how you can use it than the one that I showed you the first day. So what I want to do is I want to use, I think, these as a border around, or use the bubbles. So that's a bit difficult to decide on which one. Oh no, I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use a total different one. I'm going to use this, and I'm actually going to go in with the black and white from the top. So I'm just dabbing paint on my I'm going to do this. Yes, I am. And you can see that I go in and I really make sure that I do a few stenciling parts on top of one another. So let's put that on and then go in again. So I put my paint on my sponge, I dab it off, and then I go in. And I've got that in my sky. And now I want to go back in there. Let's see how we're going to do that. Make sure that you do a couple of thin layers. Don't press too hard, otherwise you'll get bleeding under your stencil, and you don't want that. So let's just see how we're going to do that. Yes. Oops, that went a bit wrong there. Let's see if I can fix it. A bit too enthusiastic. So just let's fix that. Easy fix. Nothing is really difficult, isn't it? You just have to you have to just go with it. And then this is the last one, I think. Just maybe a little bit more here. So that way we've taken the stenciling all the way from the top and taken it to the side. So I just have to, sorry, I have to blow my nose. So what I like to do is still add some white or color in there. So what I'll probably do is just go in and maybe I will add some color in the middle of these. just a couple of them. And let's add a color in there. Because we're working on a different layer, I always do 2 layers, so I'll just wait till it dries and I'll add another layer in. Just make sure there's enough paint in the tip. Let's add that color in there. And it kind of gives it an idea that it looks like a tapestry. Tapestry in the sky coming down. Let's do some yellow. There we've got the yellow one in. Okay, good morning. Rather late than never, they say. So let's grab that, and maybe another yellow one there. And I'm going to go again in with this color, because first time around it wasn't bright enough for me. So I just do a second layer. Because you've got the under color peeking through, I just like to go back in. That, and maybe this one and another one over here. And which color will we do as well? Maybe wait, let's do the green. If I'm boring you, you guys have to say. But I try and do something different every time. So, not everything will be your cup of tea. But at least I can show you a couple of ways and hopefully inspire you to work in different ways. There was a few people that asked me yesterday, they thought that they actually weren't allowed to share their makes during the lives outside of the group. You are allowed to, and I just always say, if you have followed any lesson, even from anyone else, not just me, it is always great to say, oh, I did this tutorial with this person, and this is what I learned from that. And let's just put a few white dots on here. Just like it looks like a bit of flourishes, or I don't know what, but just gives it a bit more interest. And I don't want it too white, I just want it to come into my page. So that way you can always post your work in other groups. Just don't post anything with stencils that, or something that has not been revealed yet. So I just try and create this little pattern at the top there. And I don't try and do too thick layers on the white. I'm trying now to fade the white out towards this side. So it'll actually just kind of dissolve towards the side. Can you see that? Thanks, Yulene. Oh, you're not bored. Okay. Thanks, Kay. I'm glad that you enjoy it. I would love people to post their work for the December. So you can start posting your work in the December album in the group. And of course, every month we have a giveaway. That is fantastic if you can join us. So I'm going to just add a bit of that green in. Just take her away. And then I'm going to go in with the lighter green and just add a few. You can see it's just like little short stripes that I'm doing. I'm almost just touching my page. I'm just giving that a bit of light and interest. Otherwise it's very, very flat. So we can add her to the page on here. So of course, the way that we stick her down is with our sticky multi-glue. Good morning, beautiful scrapbooks. Hi, Taryn. Oh, you went really short with your hair, okay? So let's just stick her down there. So now I have to look what I want to add to this page. So I can add a border of this or this, but I don't think this is gonna work for me. I think I want to leave it like that. I just might add, let's see if this is going to work, and if it doesn't work, that's just the way it is today. Then we'll have to fix it. Could just paint black over it if it doesn't work. So that is an easy fix. So I'm just going to get a sponge out, make sure my sponge is really wet, press all the excess out of my sponge. Make sure I've got all the extra moisture out of my sponge. But it's just such a difference if you work with this instead of this. I mean, you can see how soft that is in comparison with the other one. So let's get that white on there, and let's put this pebbled effect on the bottom. Only advice I can give you is please, please, please do not press hard. You can see me holding on, and I am not pressing hard. I'm going over the same area, and usually it helps even to give it a quick dry. And then going in for a second time. Rather do that than one time pressing too hard, because that way you will just ruin your page. Can you see that? So it just gives you a nice little pebbled effect at the bottom there. Then you go in again. Not pressing too hard, because you don't want paint. I saw a lady asking what is she doing wrong, and she had that every single time, and that is really you using too much paint. You put your paint on, oops, you dab it off, really dab it off, and then you go in and you spread your paint out without any pressure. Oops, this is sticking to the page. And now getting the little last bit. Sorry. I'm sounding really healthy. Let's see, I just want to get that. I don't like that white areas. That I do not like. So once I finish up to here, what I'm going to do now is just grab, where is it? Where is my white gel pen? I could swear I just used it, yes. So what I would do is I will just go in I like to give my stenciling a kind of hand-drawn look sometimes. I don't want it to become too stiff and too stale. So what I'm going to do here is then go in and go with a circle around the stenciled area, and where it didn't stencil through, it doesn't matter, you just go on and you do the same with the second circle. I like the idea that it unifies the pattern at the bottom. And once you finish with that, you kind of go in and you go in, you create really small circles in between to fill up that area. It makes your work look more interesting and more handmade when you add easy line work with a pen or a pencil, whatever, and creating this extra base in front gives you a foreground, a middle ground, and a background, and a lot of things happening all over again. But it gives you a more layered effect because you're not doing a single layer of stenciling, because you've got stenciling over here, you've got stenciling there, you've got stenciling here, but you also add the hand-drawn effects to all of these areas, so it doesn't become a stale page. And I just like to just fade out the circles. I hope you can get a bit of insight on how to build a page. That is really what I want you to do, is see how you use the Art by Marlene products, how you use the paints, how you use the advent calendar with the other products, and how you can combine them all together to work for you. So now we've already have that base in there, and now this is still not the way I want it. That I know. So let's see what I'm going to do. I'm sorry about that, but otherwise I can't breathe. So I think what I'm going to do is I will be going in with a bit of black from the corner. And yes, it's scary, even for me, because I can totally muck it up. But then, yeah, at least I tried it. And if it didn't work out, if it doesn't work out, it's a lesson learned. And I'll usually say I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Yeah, that's a bit better, I think. Just giving it a bit of a... Yes, I like that better. Definitely. What do you think? And now I will go in, and with my funky, I'm going to just add a few. Oops, that didn't work out. And let's grab a bit of pink. And then let's see, which one are we going to do? We're going to go for Wow, Hot Pink, or Glow. I think I'm going to actually go for Glow. It's not a usual choice that I would make. But I think it'll make it more interesting. Not going for the safe choice. Yeah, that really brightens it up a bit. So, I think that's it for today. It's a shorter page than usual, but I think it's just it's an easy way to work. And just putting these, I store mine flat, just by the way. They're in a container in front of me, and I store them all lying flat because you've got the two side nibs. I just like to store them flat. But in any case, that's it for today. This is the creation. Hope you enjoyed it. Would you like me to add a quote to this still? Or do you think it doesn't need anything? We can, oh, and we have to add the day. Day 8. Let's find the envelope. Oh, set yourself free. We can use the quote on there. Oh, of course. Let's do this. Set yourself free. So let's just grab the quotes from there. I might want to use that on a later day, so I'm just going in like that. Just adding the day. Day 8. I might even do it like this. Day. Oops, can you see me going into my paint there? I'm great like that. How to mark up a page and then fix it again. It's actually my speciality. So day 8 we will put there. Of course I'm cutting my envelopes. I'm using them in my projects. That's part of the gift. So I just have to see if I can just cover that. I'll just have to do it later. And then set yourself free. We'll have to put it there, the quote. I'm not going to add any more ribbon to my pages at the moment because otherwise I won't be able to work further on in my book. That is just one of those things. Set yourself free. See, that helps. And day 8 I have to stick on still. Day 8. So someone asked me what to do when their pages stick together. If you've got like really thick acrylic dots like this, it might be that later on in your book, because you're using heat tools and stuff, that they will start, your pages will start sticking together. There's two things you can use. You can either use my artist sponge and have a little tub of Vaseline on you, and then put a bit of that Vaseline just on the tip of your page, or I'll just show you, just grab this here, and that is a sponge like this. You can use the Distress Glaze by Tim Holtz and actually just fixate your page by just rubbing over your page with that glaze. And that way you just fixate your layer on top of that, and that'll just help it from not sticking to one another. So that is just an easy way to use that, but Vaseline works great too. But if you've got the Tim Holtz Distress Glaze, you can use that one as well, and that fixates your page. So that's the page for today. Thank you for joining me, and till the next time, guys. Bye-bye. Oh, tomorrow I will be on at 2. Don't forget. Join me. Bye.